Hi guys, I'm going to be showing you how to create this acrylic nail design at home. First, what you'll need are some nail tips. These are clear nail tips. I got them off of Amazon. Next thing you're going to need are brushes. These are also off of Amazon in number 6 and 2. You'll need acrylic powder. This one I made at home myself, so let me know if you want a video on how to do that. You'll also need nail glue. I'm using the Kiss Max Speed nail glue. To help create the design, you'll need floss. This one works best. To cut the nail tips, I'll be using this Kiss clipper. You can get this from Walmart. And to file, I'll be using this Vogue Professional Nail Filer, also off of Amazon. For my top coat, I'll be using the OPI Infinite Shine number 3. I will be also using a clear acrylic to put on top to create a nice shine. Most important thing is to put paper down. I like to put paper as well as newspaper to protect the surface of your furniture. You will also need acrylic monomer. If you do not have a glass container to put this in, cutting a water bottle in half and using it for one-time use works perfectly fine. First thing you want to do is put the glue inside of your nail tip. Then apply it to your nail and hold down until it dries. Give it a firm push to make sure there are no air bubbles to prevent lifting from under the nail. Now go ahead and clip the nail to the length that you want. Now shape it the way you would like it. Taking your acrylic brush, I've chosen to use the number 2. You're going to dip it into your monomer, get all the air bubbles out, wipe it. Go ahead and wipe it on your napkin and dip it in, not too much. When you put it into powder, you don't want to jab it. You want to push and pull so you get a good clump. Now when you apply it, I prefer to start at the top. Most people start at the bottom. You want to go ahead and gently pat it down. Now as you can see, it's kind of liquidy. It looks like a raindrop. That means there might be a little bit too much liquid, so you can go ahead and take your brush and dab the excess liquid off. Now, my first priority is to get it near the cuticle to make sure I put that down correctly, make sure there's not going to be any lifting later on. While the acrylic is still wet, you're going to take the floss, go ahead, put it at an angle, press, and pull. This will create a much more fine line. There will be a little bit of residue left, and that is okay because you will be covering it later. So go ahead and line that up to make the sides even. Push and pull. Now that we have the shape that we want, we're going to go ahead and let that set. If you're wondering when to tell if your acrylic has set or not, you can take the end of your brush and go ahead and tap it, and it should sound like that. So let's go ahead and tap this one. So it has a much duller sound, so we're going to go ahead and wait for it to set some more. Now that our acrylic has set, you can either file it down now or wait until you've put all the colors down to file them together. So that's what I'm going to do. So next I'm going to be taking this glitter. This I got from Amazon. Again, when you get these off of Amazon, you do need to mix them with clear acrylic in order to make them stick to the nail, otherwise it's just a container of glitter. The ones I got came in small containers, so I went ahead and bought these bigger containers also from Amazon. So again, you're going to do the same thing you did with your last nail. Go ahead, take the monomer, make sure your brush is clean. You're going to dip and pull to create a good ball of product. So now putting this onto the nail, you want to stay close to the design. Let's go ahead and put it right there and work your way around. You want to make sure you get all the spaces. If you get a little on top, it's fine because you can go ahead and file it off. So when you're getting your product out of a smaller container like the one I'm using, you need to be very careful if you touch the bottom and any excess liquid gets to it, then you have clumps of product at the bottom of your container. So now taking the floss, you can do a little bit at a time if that's easier for you, because you can always go back and take away more, but it's harder to add some. So it does look a little crazy, but once we file it down, it will look much cleaner and much better. Doing this, you have a short amount of time before it gets too hard. So now it is harder. Right now it looks like a complete mess. By the end, it will look much more like this. So I'm going to go ahead and let that set and come back when it's done. So now that it's set, we're going to go ahead and do the final layer on the bottom, the same as the others. This color is a pinky white. It's not quite picking up on camera, but this I also got from Amazon. It came with the glitters, and again, I got the container from Amazon. Sometimes you just have to play around with the acrylic to get the amount you want in certain spots and the thickness. When you're first starting out, your nails are going to look just as messy as this. As you get better, it'll become easier to create smoother surfaces, but filing will make it look really good. So now we're going to go ahead and let that set, and then we'll begin filing. So now we're going to file, file, file. That is what is going to make this nail like this. It's going to smooth it out and give it that beautiful, just clean look. So I'm going to be using an electric file. I'm going to be using the Vogue Professional file from Amazon. If you don't have an electric file, I would recommend picking up the Tweezerman file. I got this from CVS. It comes with a filing side, buffing, smooth, and shine. This is my absolute favorite. I would recommend this completely over any other file in the drugstore. So I'm going to go ahead and file this smooth, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So now that we filed it, we want to encapsulate it, which means getting clear acrylic and creating a thin layer on top. You're going to do this just the same as you did with all the other layers of acrylic. So again, you're just going to dip your brush, wipe off any excess, dip and pull to create a ball, and then go ahead and put it onto your nail. This will give it the great shine that you get when you go to get your nails done professionally at a salon. So I like to start with thin layers and build up. Using a bigger brush would help better. I like using a small one just so I can really focus in on the crevices and get more control. Now when you get close to the cuticle, you want to make sure it's not touching it, because otherwise as it grows out, you'll feel a pulling sensation and possibly some burning. So you definitely need to be really careful with this. If it gets stuck to your skin, it could really hurt as it grows out. I am right-handed, so doing it with my left is much harder. So now you want to look it over, make sure there aren't any huge divots. I do see a spot where there could be more. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick up a small amount of powder and fill it in. We're going to go ahead and let this set, and then we're going to file it down. So what I like to do after it's been filed is go ahead and take the Tweezerman filer and go on over to the second step, which is buffing. Then go on to the smoothing side. This will just make sure it has an even surface. And then finally the shine. This just, in my opinion, helps smooth it out even further. It does give it a little bit of a shine, but I like to go ahead and use the OPI Infinite Shine Polish. Go ahead and put a coat and it makes the biggest difference. And that's how you create a simple acrylic nail design at home. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video so you don't miss out on more like this. Thanks, bye!